So the next point is E factor. So in the last lecture we have seen different principles of green chemistry. The next point is environmental factor and why E factor is more important while designing or framing the organic synthesis. Now see here, it is an indicator of the pollution effect caused on the environment on account of the waste generated in a reaction. So this E factor is an indicator of the pollution effect which is caused on the environment due to the formation of the waste or byproduct during the chemical reaction. So how much waste is generated, so that gives us the indication of pollution effect, and by use of that indicator we can easily minimize or we can change the designing route of the organic compounds. So what is E factor? So it is the ratio of mass of the waste generated in kg to the mass of desired product. So how much mass of waste is generated with respect to the mass of desired product in kilogram. So the mass of effluent, that is waste, divided by the mass of desired product. So if more the mass of effluent or waste, greater will be the E factor, and if E will be the greater, then it leads to the greater environmental pollution. So if E factor is more for a reaction, then we cannot use that step or that designed path for the synthesis of that compound. Therefore E factor is more important while studying or designing synthesizing the organic compound. So because how much mass of effluent is generated while the reaction is carried out should be calculated, and the mass of desired product. So if the ratio is more, means if desired product is less and if waste is more, then E factor is more and it leads to the environmental pollution. So for every 44 kg of ethylene oxide which is produced here, 111 kg of effluent is also produced. So now see here, so during this reaction, so the desired product is ethylene oxide, so along with that we are getting the waste is CaCl2 as a waste or byproduct in this synthesis. So when a 4 kg of ethylene oxide is generated during the reaction, then the 111 kg of CaCl2 is also produced along with the epoxide. So in this case the E factor, E is equal to 111 divided by 44, means the desired product is less than the waste, therefore the E factor for this reaction is more, and therefore we cannot use these steps for the synthesis of ethylene oxide. So this is 111 divided by 44, 2.52 is an E factor. A smaller E factor is desirable as it produces less waste. The above reaction has high E factor, hence this method is not good for the manufacturing of ethylene oxide according to the principle of green chemistry. So this is what E factor. E factor is nothing but the mass of effluent divided by the mass of desired product in kilogram. So the next is an atom economy. So see here what is mean by atom economy. So this atom economy is nothing but a reaction is said to be atom economical if most of the atoms of the reactants are incorporated into the desired product. Means if almost all the atoms of reactant are converted into product, then the efficiency of reaction is more and atom economy is also more. The percentage atom economy can be calculated by use of this formula. The percentage atom economy is nothing but molecular weight of desired product divided by molecular weight of desired product plus molecular weight of byproduct. So if the desired product is more, uh, divided by is more than the percentage yield or atom economy is more for the reaction. So now see this example here, Diels-Alder reaction. Butadiene is reacted with ethene and we are getting cyclohexene as a product. So there is no any waste here, therefore the percent atom economy is equal to weight of desired product divided by weight of desired product plus weight of byproduct. So in this case there is no any weight of byproduct, therefore it is taken as 0. So 82 divided by 82 means the efficiency of this reaction is 100%. So for Diels-Alder reaction, the efficiency or atom economy is 100%, and this is the green that is the steps which are carried are good because there is no any waste. But in all general, for all the reactions, there is no 100% product is formed, because there are different criteria. Because of that, the efficiency of any reaction or different reactions cannot be 100%. So the second example they have given, acetylation of aniline using acetic anhydride. So we are getting amide is there, so along with that acetic acid is formed. So percentage atom economy, weight of acetanilide divided by total weight of product into 100. So 135 molecular weight of acetanilide is there, divided by 135, it is a molecular weight of acetanilide, and 60 is the molecular weight of acetic acid as a byproduct into 100, and we are getting 69% atom economy. For the third one, dehydrohallucination of 2-bromo-2-methylpropane in presence of base, it gives 2-methylpropane. So in this case, the atom economy is only 27%, therefore this reaction cannot be used. So this is what atom economy. So E factor is nothing but mass of effluent divided by mass of desired product, and the atom economy is nothing but mass of desired product divided by molecular weight of desired product divided by molecular weight of desired product divided plus molecular weight of byproduct into 100. So by use of that we can easily say that which reaction is efficient and which one is not efficient. So the next point is there are different green synthetic reactions are there, how these compounds are generated and which type of reagents and which type of catalyst are used for the synthesis. Now see here, the first is green starting material. So if you use a green compound as a starting material, then the efficiency of the reaction is more. Glucose is an excellent feedstock to synthesize a variety of commodity chemicals using the biochemical pathway. So this is a D-glucose. By use of E. coli, we can convert this into the this dehydroxychemic acid, and by again use of E. coli, it is converted into muconic acid, and finally on reduction we are getting adipic acid. It means from D-glucose we are getting adipic acid by use of E. coli. So in this step is a biochemical pathway because we are using E. coli as a catalyst for this conversion. So this conversion of glucose to E. coli, adipic acid is efficient, and this adipic acid is used for the synthesis of nylon 6,6 fiber. So in this case, D-glucose is used as a green starting material. So next is, if you use green reagent for the synthesis, now see here, the selective methylation using dimethyl carbonate, that is CH3OCOOCH3 is nothing but dimethyl carbonate. So the selective methylation using dimethyl carbonate, conventional methylation takes place. Conventional methylation make use of methyl halide or DMSO4, which are toxic to the environment. So dimethyl carbonate is not non-toxic and cause selective methylation of active methylene compounds. The process does not produce any inorganic salt. So the methylation of aryl acetonitrile by use of dimethyl carbonate gives us a 99% selectivity. So next is green solvent. So in this case, green solvent is supercritical CO2. So we know that traditional solvents may cause different environmental pollution because they persist in the environment for more duration. So we can use green solvent for the synthesis of compounds because these green solvents are non-toxic, non-flammable, these can be renewable and inexpensive. See this example here, the free radical bromination of toluene in presence of supercritical CO2 using N-bromosuccinimide as a brominating agent gives 100% conversion to benzyl bromide. The reaction offers selectivity as well as yield. So a lot of industrial application of supercritical CO2 which include polymerization, essential oil production, coffee decaffeination as well as waste recycling. So we can use the solvent as a green solvent for the synthesis of different organic compound without any waste. So we may use the catalyst. It is enzymatic catalyst. So it leads to the synthesis of organic compounds more efficient than the usual organic reactions. So we use biocatalyst for the synthesis. Why we are using biocatalyst? Because it has more advantage over the traditional catalyst. The first advantage is we can carry the reactions in aqueous medium by use of biocatalyst. If we use the biocatalyst, the step of reaction is get decreased and it is only one step. The protection and deprotection of functional group is not necessary. The reactions are fast and exhibit a high degree of selectivity. Now see this example, hydroxylation of nicotinic acid. So when the hydroxylation of nicotinic acid takes place, it can be carried by using Achromobacter xylosoclanes. So in presence of O2, we can easily get a product with maximum efficiency. So the next is reduction of ethyl acetoacetate. We can reduce beta, that is carbonyl group which is present at the beta position of this ester functional group can be reduced selectively by use of Baker's yeast. So we can use the starting material as a green compound, we can use green reagent, we can use green solvent, we can use a different enzymatic catalyst for the synthesis of different organic compounds. So by use of this green synthesis, we can synthesize maximum efficient organic products. So this is what we have studied: E factor, atom economy and different green synthesis.